Liu Ruyan and I have been together for 6 years, but on her birthday, I prepared a table full of dishes with my heart, and I waited until the early morning but I didn't see her. Since my first love Jibota came back from abroad, Liu Ruyan rarely went home and I kept silent. Yuan, as long as you promise not to contact me in the future, this is yours. Liu Ruyan took out a key and handed it to me. I took the key from her hand, and after several years of relationship I changed a house, and I decided not to wait for her anymore. When I disappeared, Liu Ruyan searched all over the world and couldn't find my trace anymore. She cried like a child. But I have been recalled by the system. I hugged her as usual and planned to take a bath afterwards. But tonight she didn't cooperate with me by the neck like in the past. Instead, she lit a cigarette, took a puff and broke up. What's wrong? Didn't I serve you well just now? I endured the huge shock in my heart and forced a smile, afraid that he would find out that I was different. Liu Ruyan seemed a little irritated. She crushed the cigarette in the crystal ashtray and threw a bunch of keys to me. I bought you a villa in Tianyu No. 1. The 360 square meter villa is a compensation for you over the years. It is the most expensive house in the city, worth more than 20 million. This breakup fee is very generous, not to mention that he treats me well, and there is still a considerable living expense in the card. I turned my back to him, holding the key worth tens of millions, resisting the urge to cheer loudly, and trembling with excitement. But in his eyes I was extremely sad. He suddenly hugged me from behind, seemingly doting, but I could hear a warning. Don't do this, I will feel distressed. From the moment you followed me, you should know what our relationship is. I like your understanding. Of course, since he brought me back from the bar 6 years ago, I knew that I was just a male lover he kept a little better than a pet. He is good to me, but he is also good to the cats and dogs he keeps. I turned around and my eyes were red. His lips fell to the corner of my mouth, with a faint smell of cigarettes. He told me that I could continue to live here, but I had to move out within a month. He dressed up and put on exquisite makeup. Before leaving, he looked back at me. Jibota was back. I agreed to his proposal. The wedding date is 1 month later. I usually do whatever he asks me to do and never asks why. This time he took the initiative to speak. It turned out that the white moonlight hidden in his heart was back. The moment the heavy door closed, I jumped up from the bed. The system's voice suddenly floated out that the breakup was successful, the task was completed, and the countdown to returning to the world was 7 days. It's a pity, Sister Ruyan, I can't wait for a month. I'm going to let you down. When I was selected by the system and started the mission in this world, I had just experienced a failed business, penniless and desperate. I agreed to the system's request, and sat in the club in the blink of an eye. That was the first time I saw Liu Ruyan. She was wearing an exaggerated suit, swaying wildly on the dance floor. The gorgeous light favored projection on her, passionate and bright, like a goddess who lost her composure. I realized that she was the one I wanted to capture. She booked the whole place that day and everyone could enjoy themselves. She drank a lot of wine that day, laughed loudly and laughed to tears. In this city's most high-end den of money, it was quiet and crazy. He began to take off his clothes, one by one in the wave of booing, and the last layer was about to be exposed. I rushed over, took off the only shirt on my body and wrapped her up. Later, Sister Ruyan recalled that she touched my naked skin when she was unconscious that day. When her cheek touched the pounding heartbeat, she became a little sober. That night, he pulled me into the most luxurious room in the club, made love with me, and almost tore me apart gently. Sister Ruyan was too fierce. I was scared and hid at the head of the bed crying. I was acting and refused to admit that I was a little powerless. Women are like wolves and tigers at the age of 30. I have really experienced it. Afterwards, he forced his hand over my face and blew a puff of smoke on my face. Follow me. I will naturally be happy if I support you. I nodded as docilely as a sheep. Then I saw him take out a card from his bag and put it in front of me. That night I got 300,000. I just found out that my sponsor is not just rich. When the system told me that the property I got in this world can be brought back to my real world, I feel that my blood as a man has awakened. Who doesn't love the country and the beauty? Besides, I don't have to fight for the country myself. I must use 100% of my strength to eat such a perfect gigolo. Besides, I was really moved when I saw her for the first time. I know the feeling of being moved too well. That was when I was in high school. It was so beautiful that it made my heart tingle. That was how I felt when I saw Sister Ruyan for the first time. I naturally moved into his villa. Of course, it was just one of his residences. He didn't come often, sometimes a few days or a few months to favor me. I missed him all the time, but I didn't know whether he missed me or not. Until a year ago, when we were accidentally kidnapped during a spring outing, the kidnapper asked for 500 million yuan. Liu Ruyan had money, so he agreed. Originally, he just had to wait for someone to send the money over. But the kidnapper kept staring at Liu Ruyan with lustful eyes, saying dirty words all the time and even touching her. Liu Ruyan had never suffered such humiliation before. He cursed at the kidnapper, which angered him and he was almost doomed to die. In the end, I twisted my body and said something to him. I risked my life to save him even though I broke my own arm. Later I heard from his secretary that when he brought people back to save me, she cried all the way when she saw me covered in blood and dying. They had never seen Mr. Liu so emotional and out of control. From then on, she moved to the villa where I lived permanently. At night, I hugged her and we had endless whispers to each other. During that period of time, I often thought that it would be very happy to live like this for the rest of my life, because no woman had ever loved me so much, and he was so outstanding. I felt that I should confess my love to him, and let him know my feelings completely. On Liu Ruyan's birthday, I prepared carefully for a long time, but before I could say the words of confession, Boda appeared. He was a man with an elite look in his eyes. From the moment he walking into the restaurant, Liu Ruyan's eyes never left his face. Boda just glanced at me with contempt, as if in his heart, I was not worthy of his eyes at all. He only said to Liu Ruyan, "Come with me, I have something to tell you." My sister Ruyan was so panicked that she ran out without even saying hello or even giving me a glance. She didn't come back all night. I sat on the sofa all night. Unconsciously, the ring clenched in my hand left a deep blood mark on my palm. The system forcibly woke me up and warned me that if I chose to fall in love, my life would be punitively shortened. I sneered. Sure enough, there is no free lunch in this world. I can take the money in this world back, but I will also face the risk of shortening my life at any time. At one moment I slapped myself hard. The ring on my palm scraped across my eyebrow, leaving a streak of blood. It hurt so much. Fong Yuan, from now on you just be a competent clown. It's only right to make money and leave. I swear that in the last few days I stay in this world, I will cash in all my property and put the money in my bank card. Fortunately, the property can be brought back to the real world, otherwise I would have lost both the wife and the army in these 6 years. When the system prompted that I had 2 days left, Liu Ruyan called me. I was a little surprised. It turned out that she asked how to make yam and lotus seed porridge. She was a young lady who had never cooked before, so she knew without thinking that he must have asked this for Boda. As soon as I finished explaining the method, he hung up without hesitation. I called him. I wanted to be a good person to the end, so I sent his WeChat message telling him what I did, but I didn't expect that I would be blocked. Aha, he is really heartless. In fact, I have known for a long time that Liu Ruyan is a cruel person. If he wants to end a relationship, even if you kneel down and beg him, he will not even look at you again. On the last day here, I went to the club where I met Liu Ruyan again. It was still a place of decadence and extravagance. Every time I came here before, I followed Liu Ruyan. Every time the club manager saw me, although he also had a flattering look on his face, his eyes revealed contempt. I sat in the VIP booth and ordered the most expensive wine. The manager's smile was much more real than before. I leaned back in my chair, looking at the men and women dancing on the dance floor. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded behind me. I pretended to be casual, turned around and blocked himself with the back of the sofa. It was indeed Liu Ruyan and his friend, and Liu Ruyan's personal assistant Zhao Yu. Maybe it was because the music here was too loud, and their voices were also very loud, so loud that I could hear it clearly. I still felt it was a pity. Not to mention Fong Yuan's looks and figure, he was 1 in a million and was rare. Otherwise, just continue to keep him. My friend felt a little regretful. I knew it was not polite to listen to them like this, but I really wanted to hear Liu Ruyan's answer. Don't make a fuss. Boda and I are getting married next month. It's not worth it to make him angry because of an insignificant person. Liu Ruyan smiled and said, hearing this, my heart arose a little sour, even though I knew he didn't love me. But after 6 years of getting along, there was really no feeling between us. Well, fortunately I had put away my feelings for him a long time ago. I really couldn't bear to do that. Didn't you say that he is great in all aspects? My friend jokingly said, ha 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 ha, the little wolf dog is indeed a qualified bed partner. Liu Ruyan's tone was casual, as if she was talking about something insignificant. Do I not even deserve a name, little wolf dog? Haha, this is considered a good compliment to me. I was in no mood to stay any longer, so I got up and prepared to leave. What a damn fate. I bumped into Boda, who had just arrived. Boda frowned impatiently, looked me up and down, and dusted off the non-existent dust on his expensive suit. As before, he exuded an elite temperament. When he saw it was me, a scornful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Obviously he recognized me. Liu Ruyan listened, hearing the noise. He turned around and saw us, and his face changed in an instant. I certainly wouldn't be so self-indulgent as to think that he was too happy to see me. He quickly walked to Boda and asked him if he was okay. Boda put his arm around her waist as if to show off, shook his head in an ambiguous manner and said he was fine. Only then did Liu Ruyan turn her head to look at me, and asked me coldly why I was here. Why were you following me? And there was a hint of disgust in her words. I was planning to leave, but I didn't expect him to say such a thing. I said I just came to have a drink, and besides, this club is not private, I can come when I want to. As a result, Boda looked like he had heard a joke. How can anyone get in now? It seems that we have to change the club to drink in the future. Liu Ruyan still looked at me with an unhappy look. You probably worried that Boda would be unhappy. I felt bad too. How could they come but I couldn't? I'm a time traveler who completed my mission. How could I be bullied by them? Some cats and dogs wear a high-end suit so they really think they are superior. I imitated him and said sarcastically, haha, if it weren't for Ruyan, do you think you would have a chance to talk to me? Jibota thought his words could hurt me. Do you think I want to talk to you? You used to be a rich second generation at most, but now your family is going bankrupt. Why are you pretending to be so big and powerful? I have already found out about his background. The reason why he is willing to be with Liu Ruyan is nothing more than money. He wants to suppress me? Dream on. The balance of my bank card must be more than he said a lot. Jibota was obviously furious after hearing this. Perhaps he could not accept being ridiculed by someone like me in front of Liu Ruyan. He completely lost his usual gentlemanly manners and punched me. I didn't pay attention and was hit hard. I tasted a hint of rust. I wiped the corner of my mouth and kicked him in the chest with all my strength, kicking him several meters away. He was lying on the ground looking really funny. Without waiting for him to get up, I rushed over and sat on him, punching him in the face again. Before the second punch was thrown, my right cheek was slapped hard. It was burning with pain. It was Liu Ruyan. The look in his eyes when he looked at me was like a poisoned glutinous rice ball. Are you fucking crazy? Who the hell are you? How dare you hit Jibota? Apologize to me. I told you a long time ago. Don't bother me, don't show up in front of me, don't you understand what people say, just get out of here after you take the money. Although I know he doesn't love me, but humiliating me in public like this still makes my heart ache. Jibota seemed to have some confidence. You are just a dog raised by Ruyan. How can you want to turn over and become the master, eating soft rice by force? After he finished speaking, he looked at Liu Ruyan, as if to get some recognition. Liu Ruyan really lived up to his trust and quickly apologized to Jibota. In the end, I didn't apologize either because the fire alarm sounded, and the club was in chaos in an instant. Liu Ruyan and Jibota didn't care about me and ran out in a hurry. At this time I saw Liu Ruyan's assistant Zhao Yu who came out from nowhere. He told me not to worry, there was no fire. And I understood instantly. The alarm just now was his work. Zhao Yu walked a few steps, then came back to my side, asking me worriedly if I was okay, and whether I needed to go to the hospital. I smiled and replied that Liu Ruyan was not the Hulk, and she could not send me to the hospital with just one slap. He also smiled, with a hint of shyness in his smile. Seeing that I was okay, he ran out to find Liu Ruyan, looking back every few steps. I did not go back to Liu Ruyan's villa, but found a hotel to stay in, quietly waiting for the moment when the time was up. Finally, when the hands on the clock pointed to 12 o'clock, the system's voice rang, congratulations on the successful completion of the mission. Welcome back to the real world. I opened my eyes again, sat on a bench and looked around carefully. I recognized that this was the Central Park. I couldn't help but smile. I was finally back. I went to the bank to make sure I used up the balance in my card and bought a 200 square meter flat in the best property with a good environment and a good view. When my business failed, I mortgaged my car. Now I can finally buy a car I like. After a few days, I finally settled everything. That evening, the system told me that Liu Ruyan was looking for me madly. I didn't understand why I was still involved with Liu Ruyan when I had returned to the real world. The system said that I had only completed the task. If I wanted to completely end all contact with the task world, then my feelings for Liu Ruyan must be 0. The system found that my feelings for Liu Ruyan were still 40%, and I thought I would be free soon. The system said that Liu Ruyan was looking for me madly. What did he want to find me for? The system's voice rang again. Feng Yuan was in trouble because of you in the task. If you perform well during the period, you will be rewarded. You can check everything that happens in the mission world at any time, and you can also contact people in the mission world in the real world. I asked the system if this counted, and the system hesitated and refused to admit it. I was a little curious about why Liu Ruyan was looking for me. I found the phone I was about to throw away, turned it on and saw more than a dozen WeChat messages and missed calls, all sent to me by Liu Ruyan. It seems that this has released me from the blacklist. I guess he received my gift. Before leaving, I mailed my previous diary to his company. That diary was the one I started writing on the day I found out I liked him. It contained my love for him that I couldn't express, and the regret of not being able to love him. Between the lines, there was my humble and unplaced admiration. Every entry in the diary at the end, I will write a sentence. You are like my Freud. Roses shuttled carelessly in my dreams, turning my heart into a garden full of fragrance. I also booked Freud for a month at the flower shop, and sent a bouquet to his company every day. I saw him say in his 18th birthday video that his favorite flower was Freud. The most important thing is that there is a video in a USB flash drive. In the video, Jibota and a long-haired man were whispering something, and Jibota gave the man a card. When the long-haired man got up and left, his face was revealed. It was the person who kidnapped Liu Ruyan and me. Seeing this, any normal person can understand that our kidnapping was all planned by Jibota. The reason why Liu Ruyan contacted me should be that she has figured this out. The reason why we went on a spring outing at that time was because Liu Ruyan wanted to take pictures of the starry sky. He said that he liked the vastness of the starry sky. In fact, it was Jibota who said that he wanted a picture of the starry sky taken by him personally. After being kidnapped, we finally escaped. Jibota appeared at the right time, comforted Liu Ruyan, and persuaded Liu Ruyan to stop calling the police. Jibota said that although we successfully escaped, once we called the police, the news would spread. At that time, people's rumors might be terrible, and something unfavorable to Liu Ruyan might be said. He also told him not to worry, he would take care of everything, and he would definitely find the kidnappers and give Liu Ruyan an explanation. He said it with great confidence and I believed it at the time. With Liu Ruyan's financial resources, it should not be difficult for her to investigate the matter. Now that the truth is out, Liu Ruyan should be very regretful. The person whom I deeply loved for many years actually hired someone to kidnap me. Just as I was thinking about it, the phone rang again. It was Liu Ruyan. As soon as I answered it, his anxious voice came over. "Where have you been? Why aren't you at home?" I thought it was funny. Home? Who's home? He paused for a moment and when he spoke again, he returned to his usual cold and aloof look. He asked me where the video came from. He said that Jibota would not do such a thing. I laughed and slapped the evidence in his face. He was always finding excuses for Jibota, but I didn't say anything. He might have noticed my displeasure and changed the subject. He said that he had received the flowers and they were beautiful. He said that he had read my diary and read it over and over again, and he regretted hitting me that day. He regretted letting me leave even more. He said he was impulsive and asked me if it was okay. I understood him. He said he came back to see me yesterday but I didn't go back after waiting for me all night. Sister Ruyan, we are over. Didn't you make it very clear that day in the club? Yes, didn't he tell me to take the money and get out of here? He should have too. Thinking of what he said, he paused for a moment and asked, "Can you come back?" I didn't say anything but just hung up the phone silently. The system said that I can check the task events at any time. I really want to see what Liu Ruyan looks like now. A picture like a TV screen appeared in front of me. Liu Ruyan was sitting on the carpet in the bedroom with an expression on her face. Sadness. This is the first time I saw her sad because of me. Liu Ruyan is famous for her decisiveness and ruthlessness in the business world. Many men have mixed feelings about her, coveting her beauty and assets, but fearing her background and ruthlessness. She has been staring at the screen of her mobile phone, typing and deleting. I saw that the contact on the page was me, so she called me again. "And I miss you so much." At the end, her voice was choked with sobs. Now that she knows how good I am, she asked me not to bother him and let me go away. He didn't hesitate at all. He is like this now just because he found out that I am the only stupid-looking dog who is truly devoted to him. That's all. Come back, please. Don't you miss me? I can feel that he is getting a little anxious. He must feel that he has given me a way out. I'd better not be ungrateful. I calmed down and said yes. In the picture, he was like a child who heard his parents were going to take him to the amusement park. He was happy, excited, and a little nervous. His emotional ups and downs in the past were all for Jibota, but this time it was for me. After hanging up the phone, I saw him open the wardrobe and gestured in front of himself one by one, as if nothing was worthy of him. He put on Jianwu. This was the first time he was so eager to see me. "I'll wait for you at home." He sent a WeChat message and I smiled. No reply. He treated me like this, calling me when he wanted and dismissing me when he wanted, never considering my feelings. In this respect, he is really a good match with Jibota. They are equally conceited and think that everyone in the world belongs to him. Everyone must obey his command, follow his orders, and do everything according to his wishes. Looking at the heavy rain outside, I sighed that this weather is really suitable for sleeping. I haven't had a good rest for too long. When I woke up, it was already noon the next day. I picked up the silent phone, which was full of calls from Liu Ruyan. I opened WeChat again and saw that she went from expectation to inquiry, and then to impatience. In the end, she told me not to regret it. I was thinking in my mind, looking at Liu Ruyan's current condition, the picture immediately came to mind. She was curled up on the sofa, and there were several empty wine bottles beside the sofa. Liu Ruyan would drink whenever she was in a bad mood. She often got drunk, and every time I would cook her sobering soup. Because she drank too frequently, she had serious stomach problems, so after he lived with me, I would cook stomach-nourishing porridge for him every day. Of course, he got drunk before because of Jibota. Jibota went abroad, and when he was drunk, Jibota had other women around him. Every time he got drunk and lost control of his emotions, every time he was embarrassed, it was because of Jibota. Finally, there was one time when it was because of me. He was holding my diary in his hand, and there was a bouquet of flowers on the coffee table. Withered Freud, actually I left these for him just to hurt his heart. He can't just want me if he wants me and then tell me to go away if he doesn't want me anymore. It's fine if he wants me to go away, but he has to humiliate me for the man he likes. I just want him to think of me from time to time and think about how good I am to him. Then I heard the doorbell on his side rang. It was Jibota. He still had the nerve to come to him. Liu Ruyan had a cold face and didn't let Jibota in. Jibota was shouting his name outside the door. Finally it started to rain outside. The rain was not small. He stood in front of the window and saw Jibota was still outside. His face was calm, but the phone in his hand that was held upside down betrayed him. The heavy rain. Jibota's clothes were wet, and his hair, which was always meticulously groomed, was also wet by the rain and covered his head limply. I had never seen Jibota look so miserable. It was a bit funny. About an hour later, I turned on the screen and found that Jibota was still outside the door. Liu Ruyan was leaning against the bed, as if looking at her phone, but in fact she was looking out the window intentionally or unintentionally. At this time Jibota's figure was shaking a little, and with a bang he fainted. Liu Ruyan could no longer pretend, and did not care that she was not wearing shoes, nor did she care about the heavy rain outside. She hurried out to help Ji-Boda up, and finally the two hugged each other in the rain. They returned to the room, Ji-Boda and him. He explained that it was all a misunderstanding. It turned out that Liu Ruyan sent the video to Ji-Boda. In his heart, he still expected Ji-Boda to explain to him. Ji-Boda admitted that he did find someone to kidnap him and me, but in fact he just wanted to kidnap me. It was the kidnapper himself who had bad intentions. Not only did he kidnap Liu Ruyan, but he also asked for money. He was unaware of all this and it was so easy to get away with it. He said that he heard from his friends that Liu Ruyan cared about me very much, and he panicked and was afraid of losing her, so he found someone to teach me a lesson. He didn't expect that the scumbag would hurt Liu Ruyan. Ji-Boda also said that he was definitely not doing it for money. In his heart, Liu Ruyan was more important than anything else. He said he took out a wet card from his pocket and said that it contained all his assets and he would give it to her now. After Liu Ruyan finished speaking, he picked up the fruit knife on the table and said that he wanted to punish himself. Even if I didn't have you kidnapped, you were hurt after all. It was my fault. I didn't protect you well. The art of language. Ji-Boda's mouth a liar. After Ji-Boda finished speaking, he cut his arm twice. The wound opened and was bloody, and the flesh turned outward. Liu Ruyan was stunned where she was. After she reacted, she cried out in pain and drove Ji-Boda to the hospital. However, I saw Ji-Boda took the card while Liu Ruyan was driving. I put the card back into my pocket silently. I have to admire that Ji-Boda could really do this to himself. The wound was so deep that the bone was almost visible. With this incident, the kidnapping and the 500 million ransom disappeared. The two of them reconciled as expected, and Liu Ruyan never contacted me again. When I turned on the screen at night, I saw Liu Ruyan picked up my diary, was absent-minded for a moment, and then put it in the bottom cabinet of the study. In fact, I already understood that her so-called coldness, principles and bottom line were all set for me. When facing the man she likes, she can forgive everything and she cannot care, but I can't. When I kidnapped him, I did it to save him. He twisted his arm and the pain was indescribable. It was all caused by Ji-Boda. He couldn't just let it go. The next day, I saw Liu Ruyan trying on a wedding dress on the screen. Why wasn't Ji-Boda there? I was curious and checked the mission world for Ji-Boda. The screen changed and I saw Ji-Boda. He didn't disappoint me. He was hugging a long-haired beauty and kissing her passionately. At this time, Liu Ruyan called him, probably asking him where he was and when he would arrive. I heard Ji-Boda say that the road was too congested and he was on his way there. He was stuck in a traffic jam and his shirt buttons were unbuttoned to his belly button. I was thinking about it when I heard Ji-Boda and the girl in his arms, a conversation between two women. Who has a better figure, me or her? The woman spoke in a delicate voice. Her voice was very familiar. The woman showed her face and I was shocked. How could it be Liu Ruyan's sister Liu Ruyan? I remembered that she just graduated from college this year. Ji-Boda is a scumbag. Of course you have a good figure. Your skin feels smooth, unlike hers which is ugly without makeup. Ji-Boda stroked Liu Ruyan while talking. Her sweet words made Liu Ruyan giggle. But you are going to marry her anyway. What should I do when you get married? Liu Ruyan complained a little aggrievedly. This is a delaying tactic. After all, your father gave him all the shares of the company. If I don't get them, how can I support you? Baby, Ji-Boda said, and then he started to touch Liu Ruyan. The scene was unbearable to watch. I quickly closed my eyes and the scene disappeared. I absolutely could not let Ji-Boda be so carefree. I had to plan carefully. Otherwise, with Ji-Boda's mouth and all the nonsense he said, Liu Ruyan would most likely forgive him again. I had to tear off Ji-Boda's disguise. I wanted to let Liu Ruyan know what a wrong decision it was for him to give up me for such a scumbag. Since I came back, I have been in contact with Liu Ruyan's personal assistant Zhao Yu every day. It finally came in handy. Although Zhao Yu is Liu Ruyan's personal assistant, she is actually a 24-hour nanny. Liu Ruyan he has extremely high requirements for the company's employees, especially Zhao Yu. He can even be said to be overly harsh. I remember one time he took me and my friends to a hot spring in the suburbs. As a result, because Zhao Yu brought the wrong swimsuit when she was packing his things, he asked Zhao Yu to go back to the villa in the city center alone in the middle of the night to get his swimsuit. He also confiscated his cell phone. How could a little girl like him dare to walk back by herself? He had to walk until tomorrow for this distance. He and his rich friends didn't care about these things at all. I really couldn't stand it at the time, but I couldn't disobey Liu Ruyan, so I had to spend money to borrow a car from the hot spring owner and let Zhao Yu drive back. Liu Ruyan was very strong at work. She is always the boss when she is with her friends. Everyone compliments her like a star, so she is a little arrogant behind her cold appearance, but she doesn't bully others at will. But I can feel that she is targeting Zhao Yu. When Liu Ruyan and I first got together, Zhao Yu informed me of many things such as which restaurant to wait for Liu Ruyan, what dishes to order and which seat to choose, or where to pick up Liu Ruyan, what clothes to wear for different occasions. Sometimes I would ask Zhao Yu about Liu Ruyan's preferences or her mood that day, and he would patiently tell me. Later, when we got familiar with each other, he would also send me some funny jokes or holiday greetings. Now I don't have to worry about Liu Ruyan anymore. I told Zhao Yu my true thoughts. When I thought about the day when Ji-Boda and Liu Ruyan humiliated me, I felt like I had no desire to live and hated myself for being powerless. but I had to punish them. Zhao Yu said she wanted to help me, which was also to help herself. She told me that the reason Liu Ruyan targeted her so much was because her mother was the physical therapist of Liu Ruyan's father. When Zhao Yu was a child, Liu's father and mother often praised Zhao Yu for being well-behaved and cute. After Liu's father and mother gave birth to their second child, Liu Ruyan was very unhappy and always hated her sister Liu Rushuang. Half of her parents' love had been taken away by her sister Liu Rushuang. Now even the physical therapist's daughter is more popular with her parents than her. Liu Ruyan said many things that hurt her self-esteem, causing Zhao Yu's mother to run away from the Liu family in tears. She was involved in a car accident and has been in a coma ever since. Lu Fu had a stroke due to Liu Ruyan's anger and wanted to change his will, but it was also... He was powerless, so from then on Lu Fu ignored Liu Ruyan. Liu Ru, who could get whatever she wanted, was not as good as Zhao Yu, an outsider in her father's heart. From then on, his dislike for Zhao Yu turned into resentment. He tried every means to torture Zhao Yu. He deliberately let Zhao Yu join his company and made him sign a 20-year contract. If he wanted to resign, he would have to pay a huge penalty. In fact, Zhao Yu knew everything and had been secretly waiting for revenge. He said that Liu Ruyan was too arrogant and looked down on the small stones on the ground, but he never knew when she would be tripped by the insignificant small stones. Finally, Zhao Yu and I reached an agreement to cooperate to bring him down. Zhao Yu said he knew that Jiboda had cheated on Liu Ruyan's sister Liu Wushuang. He said that Liu Ruyan had always looked down on him and his sister. If he knew that his sister had stolen his fiancée, he would no longer be proud. I also told him about my concerns. Liu Ruyan trusted Jiboda very much, and would never believe what others said. Zhao Yu said he had a way to let Liu Ruyan see with her own eyes that Jiboda had betrayed him. He was going to hire a private detective, and the candid photos were all professional. He said he had to take them anyway, as videos were more exciting than photos. I think I have found the right person. This partner is both smart and reliable. Zhao Yu and I discussed that it would be best if Liu Ruyan saw Jiboda betraying him. At Ruyan and Jiboda's wedding, the video of Jiboda and Liu Rushuang was played, so Liu Ruyan would be ridiculed by everyone and fall from the altar. No matter how much Jiboda argued this time, it would be useless. After all, there would be many guests at the wedding. With Liu Ruyan's vengeful character, she would never let Jiboda off easily. Jiboda was also very conceited. He felt that he was handsome and would be the focus wherever he went. Women would bow down to him. He often sent some ambiguous messages to Zhao Yu. It was not that he really liked Zhao Yu, but he just wanted to use Zhao Yu to ensure that he could know Liu Ruyan's movements at any time to facilitate his cheating. Zhao Yu did give him a lot of useful information. The day before Liu Ruyan's wedding, I applied to the system to return to the mission world, because I really wanted to see with my own eyes the moment when Liu Ruyan and Jiboda were shot to death. The system agreed. I returned to the mission world and met with Zhao Yu. He said that thanks to Liu Ruyan's ordering him around for everything, he had the opportunity to change the wedding video. We confirmed it several times and the video was correct and could be played normally. I also bought the most advanced speakers at my own expense to ensure that every corner of the scene could hear the video. The sound, Zhao Yu and I were more excited than the bride and groom. I hid in the dark at the wedding scene. It was not suitable to show up now. From the moment the bride entered, we confessed our love to each other and exchanged rings. With the MC's words, "Please enjoy the love story of the newlyweds." Finally, the video could be played. In the picture, the groom and the bride's sister were kissing each other passionately. Then their clothes flew everywhere and they fell on the bed. It was indescribable. Liu Ruyan's eyes were red with anger. She slapped Jiboda twice. I saw 5 fingerprints on Jiboda's face. Then Liu Ruyan picked up the red wine beside her and poured it on Liu Wushuang's head. The scene was chaotic. Everyone present was in an uproar. Some people kept silent because they were afraid of the power of the Liu family, but there were still many people talking. The people who came to the wedding were either rich or noble. The staff could not go up to stop Liu Ruyan, and could only yell at the employees to turn off the screen, but they couldn't turn it off at all. They couldn't find the switch. In the end, everyone left. The scene was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Jiboda was also locked up in the dressing room by Liu Ruyan's people. At the wedding scene, only Liu Ruyan was left sitting alone by the stage. The lights were still shining above her head. She was like an abandoned doll, at a loss and helpless. I saw her take out her mobile phone, and I didn't know who she was sending a message to. Then my phone vibrated, prompting I have WeChat. It turns out that she was sending me a message. "A yuan except you, it seems that no one will love me wholeheartedly. Yes, I am stupid." I sighed. Liu Ruyan looked up and saw me when she heard the voice. Her eyes lit up, and then a trace of grievance flashed across her face. She ran to me and hugged me tightly. I did not avoid him and choked with sobs. "A yuan, why did you come just now?" I did not say anything, nor did I hug him back like usual. After a long time, he let go of me and looked at me steadily. "A yuan, I decided to break up with Jiboda. Let's make peace, okay?" Suddenly, I felt that this game was not fun anymore. It was boring. I didn't even have the mood to perfunctorily deal with him. When I loved him, he doesn't cherish me. I treat him as a treasure, but he thinks I am a piece of shit. Now he has been cheated on and betrayed, and he thinks of me, but it's too late. He is still chattering that he found he couldn't live without me a long time ago. He said he was just obsessed with G-Boda and just wanted to make up for the regrets of his youth. He said G-Boda cheated on him, and the sad thing is that it is a shame, but he is not sad because of G-Boda. He said he doesn't love G-Boda anymore. He held my hand and looked at me with such gentle and loving eyes for the first time. Yuan, I love you. I pulled my hand away and wiped my hands with disinfectant wipes. It's me who don't love you anymore. After saying that, I ignored her. I tried to persuade him to stay and turned to walk towards the door. Liu Ruyan chased me and shouted, trying to hold me back, but her haute couture wedding dress tripped her and made her fall. She cried and shouted my name, saying that she really regretted it. I did not look back. I said goodbye to Zhao Yu and said that I was going abroad. He wished me a safe journey. I wished him all his wishes come true. He said that his only wish was that his mother could wake up, and he could accompany his mother back to the real world. I opened a coffee shop and the business was good. I was very content. One day Zhao Yu contacted me and said that he had good news to share with me. G-Boda was in a very miserable situation now. His family business was about to go bankrupt. The family discussed later. She urged him to marry Liu Ruyan, hoping to use the power of the Liu family to overcome the difficulties. As a result, he offended Liu Ruyan. Not only did G-Boda's company go bankrupt, but even the last chance of turning things around was cut off by Liu Ruyan. G-Boda's parents were taken abroad by his eldest brother, and no one cared about G-Boda's life or death. No matter how much G-Boda begged Liu Ruyan this time, it was useless. No matter how many good words he said or how he hurt himself, Liu Ruyan remained indifferent. Liu Ruyan felt that she had lost face because of G-Boda. He found 10 strong men with special fetishes and served G-Boda well for 3 days. After 3 days, G-Boda's mental state became a little abnormal, and he would hide from Liu Ruyan when he saw a man. Shuang was locked up in the basement by Liu Ruyan. She was given a bowl of dog food every day. If he didn't eat it, he would starve. Finally, Liu Ruyan escaped and no one knew where she went. Zhao Yu also said that now Liu Ruyan's friends are talking about her and laughing at her behind her back. But she doesn't care. She has focused all her attention on finding me. My previous phone number is no longer in use, and she has blocked her on WeChat because she can't find me. She has been drinking until she is unconscious every day for a week. Now she calls my name when she is drunk, and asks people if they know Feng Yuan when they see them. Zhao Yu asked me if I would be soft-hearted, and I said I wouldn't. He said that Liu Ruyan should really be in love with me now. Belated affection. I don't want the system to say that due to my outstanding performance, it can fulfill one of my wishes. I asked the system, can I have any wish? The system told me to be realistic. If it is a wish for immortality, then forget it and go to bed as soon as possible. I laughed and the system started to tell jokes. It was no longer as old-fashioned as it was at the beginning. I said that my wish was to wake up Zhao Yu's mother. The system also smiled and said nothing. A week later, Zhao Yu sent me a photo. It was a photo of Lu Fu and Zhao Yu's mother. Zhao Yu said that everything would be fine. Yes, everything would get better and better. Half a year later, the system's voice sounded again. He said that Liu Ruyan was still the old man was looking for me. Am I willing to return to the mission world and spend the rest of my life with him? I was a little dazed and thought I had heard it wrong. Of course I didn't want to. The system said that Liu Ruyan is very miserable now. I opened the screen of the mission world and saw Liu Ruyan. What's more, he treated me well at ordinary times. There was still a considerable living allowance on the card. He looked haggard and thin. In order to find me, he even went abroad and found a so-called master with a lot of money. He was willing to exchange 20 years of life for seeing me again. He also went to Heian Temple, which is a very famous temple in the mission world. Legend has it that as long as people sincerely kowtow from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain, their wishes will come true. There are a total of 9,000 steps. He actually knelt all the way from the bottom of the mountain to the top just to know my whereabouts. Because of the serious injury to his knees, he now has difficulty walking. He has no mind to manage the company anymore. The company's business is getting worse and worse. Now it is basically just an empty shell. The system said that this is the most infatuated person he has ever seen, and asked me if I really don't consider meeting him once. I smiled and shook my head. At this time, the system reminded me that my feelings for Liu Ruyan have reached zero, and I can completely end all contact with the mission world. Whether to execute my choice is that everyone has to pay the price for their own choice. There is no regret medicine in the world. Cherish the present is the most important thing. The whole text is over.